Just take a deep breath and relax. Take another deep breath and relax. And take another one. And relax even deeper this time. Try to recall a memory that made you feel so good that you can't explain in words. It could be many memories or just one, doesn't really matter. But just try to recall something from your life, from the past, that you experienced, and it still is with you. And first just get into that memory as if you're living it right now. So don't relate it as a past, but imagine it's happening right now. And even though it may not be the same, just get a sense of that remembrance of how you felt, of what you felt, even though you may not have words for it. Get the essence of that. Even if the intensity is not the same. And just let yourself feel that, the essence. Make it as vivid as you can. And just recognize that whatever you touched upon or you are touching upon, there's a hint of truth behind it. Something that touched your soul, something that resonates with you. And in these everyday experiences, we are trying to chase similar kind of things. Experiences, people, emotions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. But we are all, whether we realize it or not, seeking similar things. Or essentially the same thing, but different flavors of the same thing. So since you guys are on a spiritual quote-unquote journey, everybody is, but you're just aware of that. It's a nice thing to remember that what you're going for, actually. It's the recognition of truth. And in your past experiences, whether it's coming from some experience or stories or some other person, it's all pointing towards that. It's a recognition of truth in some way or form. And now the aim here is to recognize truth as often as possible and when we want to do that, not just relying upon certain life circumstances to remind us of that truth or glimpses of that. You want to stabilize yourself into this recognition more and more of your true nature, of your true essence, your beingness. So now I'd love to explore this with you guys, how we can deepen that today. And before we do that, if you want to put a word or a sentence to your experience, whatever you remember today, you can do that now, just to think about how would you explain it. What did you experience? Maybe just one word, maybe one sentence, or maybe a couple of sentences. Doesn't matter. Don't go so much into the stories, or you can actually, but ultimately bring it back to the essence. What did you experience that made you feel so resonant with truth? There's beyond just a feeling of feeling good, actually. It's just something on a soul level, vibrationally. So just think of that for a minute. How would you explain it? Because first we need clarity if we want to recognize something. And this is just one angle to it. Now if you want to, please feel free to share what is it that you recognized, the essence, as purely as possible, that still sticks with you today because of that memory. Maybe it brought tears to your eyes, maybe just not tears, but something really moved you. And it could be from anything, really. So we're trying to find the essence more and more. And there are different flavors of that, but let's find out what you guys discover, and then we can bring it together. So if we track each and every share, even when it relates to us, something from our life, something that happened in our story, life story, or not, maybe it's just a sensation of, like you two described, of just unity, of bliss. But no matter what it is, it's the nature of that, it's self-transcendence. So each time you felt something, and then it's basically something your mind is not focused about oneself. It's something you transcend. That's what it is. You transcend something yourself, and then you have a bigger, whether it's a direction, or now you want to what did you say, like you want to give to others, something like that. Like there's after feeling that abundance or money, then you want to give or share. So each time, if you track for each one of us, actually there is some self-transcending nature in there, whether it's being one with this nature and feeling this, like this whole freedom and abundance of nature in Bali. It's all, you're getting out of your head of you thinking about you, and now you have something else to bigger, something you can also call it bigger, all the way to unity, something bigger to that you focused on, or that your focus automatically went there for because of some circumstances. So this is essentially, self-transcendence is essentially what we want and what we're looking for. Also in our day-to-day activities, although the flavor of that, the nature of that changes, because we are here for our human purposes also. But nevertheless, no matter what we do or no matter what state we are in, if we come back to the self-transcending way of being, then no matter what you're feeling also, it doesn't matter what state you're in, what you're tapped into. If your focus is self-transcendence, something beyond you, then you are in alignment to your spiritual path, to your spiritual growth. So this is one of the things we can always track, like, okay, no matter what I'm feeling, doesn't matter, what's my focus? Because even in, let's say, blissful states, or you can say like in spiritual journey, we can be actually focused on oneself also, my enlightenment, my realization and all of that. So it's always, no matter what you're feeling, no matter what you're tapped into, that's just secondary actually. What's most primary thing in what I teach and what I try to share is the aspect of self-transcendence. And it can take many shape or forms. So I'm going to give some examples and you can try to relate into your life, how you can bring it in your life more and more. So one of the examples of self-transcendence is this state of awe, where this comes usually when you're in nature, or you're looking at the stars, or you see a beautiful sunset or sunrise. And this state of awe is a mixture of wonder. You can also call it a little bit excitement, but also there may be a flavor of fear, not really fear, but insignificance of, like, I don't matter, like in that sense, meaning like I'm nothing, and it's this whole vast thing that I'm watching is so big that I don't have any concern about me right now, my life story, what's going on. So this is one of the ways. That's why when we go into nature, we see a beautiful beach. We go for even adventure sports. If we do all of these, it just puts you into this kind of awe state that it's not about me. I'm not even thinking actually, it's just I'm there in this, I've lost myself in the moment. So this is one example. And this can be practiced with, so this I just gave you one pointer, but this can be practiced actually anytime. You're eating a meal, you can be in awe of that. How is that being prepared? How is it being cooked? Like what happened, all these things that made the meal come at this place at the right timing, and people served, or you made it for yourself, whatever the case, but so much that goes on into the creation of that. So even thinking about that also can put you into this awe state. Or you can think of anything, this building being made. Right now we're sitting, we somehow found this place, this session happening today. And synchronicity is one thing you mentioned was synchronicity. Just pondering synchronicities is one of the ways to tap into this awe of, or you can also call it intelligence of divine creation, this completely beyond human mind, actually, beyond human intelligence. You cannot grasp it. That's why it's awe state. Like you give up trying to grasp it. And this is why it puts us into this state. When you see something so beautiful, that you stop trying to find why it's so beautiful. You even stop saying it's beautiful. You're just with it and you're just there. And that just puts you in there. So this is one. And see how you can just relate back to your life, how you can actually also practically bring it more in your life, whether you're in nature or you're in your apartment or your villa, whatever. Or you're doing your job. Actually, it can be brought in so many ways. And before I go to the next one, just if any share or question comes up, feel free to bring it. So then the next one would be a flow state where you find the perfect balance between something challenging, not even challenging, but more so something that engages you, and not also to the degree where you get bored. So when you do something which is the right balance between challenge and boredom, it puts you in a flow state. So whether it's a hobby or something you do in your job or something that you do as like maybe writing or speaking or creating, playing games, could be anything. But those are the moments also when you're one with life itself and you're not really, you have a sense of self in that sense that I'm playing or I'm doing something, but you lose the sense of doership in that sense, that you're just one with creation. The creation is happening as you, through you, and you're just in the flow state of that. You're not contracting it, you're not restricting it, you're not forcing or controlling anything actually. You're just one with that flow and it's just happening. So this is another way to tap into that more and more, and it will be unique for each one of us. Like for example, maybe if I go and sing a song, I wouldn't be in a flow state, whereas you may be. Same with anything, because we are all wired differently. We have different skills, we have different gifts, different passions. So this is all for all of us to explore what puts us in a flow state. And this, as I said, is also when you lose yourself in that way, that there's only this action happening. And when you look back, you will see that where did the time go? I was just there. I was just doing this thing and I didn't know about the time at all. And this is also self-transcending. This is also going beyond yourself and doing what you're here to do, because whenever you're in your flow state, it just it signifies that you're doing something that is in alignment with creation. Because otherwise you will feel something off. You will feel like, no, I'm not supposed to be doing this. It could be something big also, like your job, like on a bigger scale, on a macro scale, like I'm not supposed to do this. Why am I even doing this? So you quit your job, that's why. But when you're in alignment, it doesn't mean that there are no ups or downs in your career journey, but more so what you're doing is, it's on a larger scale, it's putting you on a flow state, and also in packets, small packets, you're in that flow state more and more. That's when you know you're actually doing what you're here to do as a human. Your job, you're doing your job. And it also doesn't mean that it also has to be something big. It could be small things actually, because life is actually made not only of something big that you do, but the small things that lead to those big moments. So just look for that more and try to incorporate as much as possible in your unique way that you can. I'm sure you guys can recall something that you do that puts you just right there into that more and more. So this is another self-transcending. can say, way of being, because it's not really a state. It's not just a state. It is a state sometimes, but it's not just a state. So yeah, any share or question about that, feel free. And we can always find our calling, our purpose. It's always a discovering process, but at the same time, in this moment, you already have it. It's not that you're going to find your purpose 10 years later, because you will be also creating and discovering it as you go, as the life unfolds. But at this moment, you do have a purpose, a reason for being that you're already tapped into, that you may not have prioritized as much because you are going through some other stuff. But really, when maybe you have experienced that before, that maybe you're going through some relationship drama in your life and you focus on a purpose for a while and everything just resolves because you're now tapped into your reason for being, and then what truly needs to happen with your drama that was happening, it just happens, it resolves it for the best reasons, whatever happens. But this is the power of you not being so engaged in, relationship is just an example, but you really tapping into the most important thing really for your beingness, like why you're here actually. So when you are clear about that, even if you don't even have to be 100% clear about that, but more so your effort, not really efforting in that doing sense, but more so you're willing, yeah, that's the word. You're willing to prioritize your purpose more than anything. And then, as I said, your personal desires are fulfilled. You don't really have to worry about them. So all we have to do is raise our willingness to make that our number one priority. And you will notice that how your soul starts to brighten up, because it recognizes, yeah, this is why I'm here. Of course, this is why I'm here. This is my duty. This is my honor. This is my responsibility. So we all have that. We all have that. We just distract ourselves. We just forget about it because we come back to this non-self-transcending way of being again and again. So for now, your life could be taking care of your children. It could be something big that I'm working on a project, or it could be something that is in the moment, whatever you're doing in the life. It could also be discovering it, while maybe, because many people come to Bali, they quit their job and they're finding that, so you're in that discovery process. So then basically you're on that path, you're just discovering it. But nevertheless, you have taken the step because you prioritized it by doing the courageous act of quitting your job, because you did actually go beyond yourself, chose to take that risk, because I know there's something calling me. I know there's something, and it may seem like it's my desire, but it is your desire. But this is more actually, now you're tapping into your purpose, and this is like highest desire, one of the highest desires, to do your purpose, to be aligned with that. So whatever it is for you, just take a moment to prioritize that, tap into that and prioritize that I know the drama can suck me in. I know sometimes life gives me stress or drama or this or that, worry, doubt, anxiety, this or that. But really, if I prioritize my purpose, everything else will be healed. It will be in alignment. So what is that? Just for yourself, for your self-reflection. Why are you here? Remember that. Just remember the importance of that. Because when you leave this body, quote unquote, then that's the only thing that matters. Not the only thing, but one of the most important thing. Did I fulfill my intention? Did I do my duty, my job, what I was sent, or I sent myself for. So yeah, this is just a reminder for that, and it actually puts you, maybe when you remember from the times when you were actually tapped into that, it's just so fulfilling. It just fulfills your soul. Doesn't matter if you're if something is going to shit, but you are so fulfilled because you're tapped into that. So yeah, this is also your compass. If you're fulfilled in doing something, this is your direction. Any question or share about that? And then another, I would say the final for today, self-transcending aspect is just abiding in your true nature. And of course, some people have trained themselves more to experience that, to come to that through the practice of meditation or through some training for yourself, like in your, because meditation is just one tool actually. So like healing also, because as you heal, you raise your vibration. So no matter what modality or things we do, or even meditation styles, there's so many also, but ultimately what we're trying to do is be more as we are in our true nature, and at least to the degree that we can also be human. Because ultimately, of course, if we are transcending ourselves, it doesn't mean that we leave our body, because ultimate transcendence is death of the human body. But and many of us have those experiences when we're completely in this blissful state, don't need anything, just love, peace, freedom, nothing else. So bringing that and having that mastery over yourself to tap into that, it's like one foot there and one foot in your human form, and then this is where you can kind of find that perfect spot where you can actually have another way to put it is one eye on your true self and one eye on the outer world, or you can say what you're here for, what you're creating also. So if you can have that one eye on your I amness, your beingness, your awareness, whatever term you use, and one eye just focused in a flow state, in present, alive, learning lessons, healing, whatever you're doing in your relative story of your life, manifesting these things. That's why it's kind of like they both go together. They can go both go together if you choose to. Because some people just go at the expense of this, or some people go at the expense of that. So, but if we both combine, like inner and outer world one together, then it is actually then the best, not really the best, but I would say the most service you can actually provide from your beingness. Also alignment comes through, because as one of the things Jan was saying was that when you're just being in your I am, then everything else unfolds in the proper way, and synchronicities, because you are focused on your vibration of your beingness, which is not dependent on anything that is happening on your life, which is that's why it's a mastery. Is on one hand, I'm asking you to engage with life. On the other hand, I'm asking you to forget about your world. And if we can bring these two paradoxes together, is that I'm not of the world, and at the same time I'm totally in the world. then you're aware and alive, both at the same time. And then we practice also, maybe when you do a meditation. And also you don't even have to do a meditation, you can just take 2 to 5 seconds, just completely in your life many times a day, letting go of whatever is clogging your mind, releasing, and then just bathing in this pure awareness. Many times if you do that, then automatically you're recalibrating your system and training your system to not so get sucked into the world and the news and the fear, the agendas of other people and all of that. You remember, and then you engage again. From this beingness now, purity. Not reacting again, but just going with the flow of what's truly needing to happen in the world through you. And maybe it's actions, maybe it's words, maybe it's nothing actually. And then also train yourself to, when you need it, meditate at the expense of the world. Like really, whatever you can conjure up, and we're going to do a meditation together today also. Whatever you can conjure up, the closest you can be with your true nature in a moment, you can practice that. You can do that while meditating and also while engaging in life. Of course, there may be a difference between to what degree you can do that while you're engaging in life versus when you're meditating. But nevertheless, it's possible to do your best in any given circumstance, in any situation. Each time you remember that you are, I am, simply I am, and that's it. It doesn't need any other additional thing to it. Then, because if you only are, then you don't need to prove anything, you don't need to do anything, you don't need to be anything. You just are. And paradoxically, then it puts you into your alignment with everything, and then you do and be and speak and whatever you do from there, because ultimately you're going to do something, whether it's in alignment or not. So whenever you do, then it will be as pure as I said before, from that place, coming from that place.